Well, this was one of the nastiest finishes I've ever seen. The match between Francisco Prado and Ottman Azaitar. I wasn't expecting such a high level of performance on the end of Francisco Prado, and the guy proved to be the real deal. So one can say that Francisco Prado doesn't belong to the UFC, but after this, I totally changed my opinion on Francisco Prado as last time when Francisco Prado suffered a loss, I said to myself, you know, Francisco Prado was having ups and downs recently in the UFC. He suffered a loss, and it was questionable whether he is going to get back in the winning column. But finally, he's able to get back. And this version of Francisco Prado is pretty much a Muay Thai guy. This is what we should have seen back in the days, right? Because Muay Thai guys, I'm going to tell you, they are very good with Muay Thai stance. They're extremely good with controlling the distance, and they are extremely good with feinting. But no, Francisco Prado is not a typical Muay Thai guy who controls the central line, because he was trying to feint a lot in the match against Ottman Azaitar, and when we saw an opportunity for Francisco Prado, I was thinking that he was going to eat many nasty shots. He even ate one big right, and I said to myself, okay, like Francisco Prado is probably going to get smoked, going to get his ass whooped. But then he did something that normal fighter would never do. Francisco Prado kind of shocked me when he made a step forward. He made a step drag forward, which is something people really, really rarely perform. A step drag forward is performed only when you're trying to cut the cage, when you're trying to close the range, and when you're trying to risk. And Ottman Azaitar could have just moved sideways. He could have just moved sideways and stay away from that, but it seems Ottman Azaitar was pretty much unprepared for what happened as Francisco Prado closed the distance and then slammed him with a spinning back elbow. And his right spinning back elbow found the target, found its mark. He landed nice and clean, and Ottman Azaitar went down like a wrecking ball. Francisco Prado continued unloading big barrage of bombs, and I'm going to tell you one thing. I believe the stoppage was a bit too early, ETC, but I will never criticize the referee because Francisco Prado unloaded big barrage of ground and pound shots, and I'm pretty much 100% spot on that Francisco Prado unloaded the best move of the whole event. And if you're asking me, nobody should even consider that. That spinning back elbow was definitely the best move on the whole card, aside of Mayra Bueno Silva's ninja choke, and Jack Della Maddalena and Basil Hafez win the fight of the night. But Francisco Prado also earned 50K because he shocked his opponent. He shocked Ottman Azaitar with the first round ground and pound stoppage, which led to a nasty victory. Additional 50K for Francisco Prado, and I got to say, Argentina is getting some new names, some big names, and he did something that majority of people don't do, like that move. When you're doing a spinning back elbow, it's normal to do step drag backward or to make a step forward, but Francisco Prado risked, and that risk paid out in the end. So I'm telling you, the guy is a real deal. You will see in the future clashes, in the future matches, that Francisco Prado is definitely going to make some noise, and his Muay Thai is extremely good. He is a great Muay Thai fighter, and anybody who keeps the fight standing against Francisco Prado is probably going to have a hard time dealing with this. You're going to see it. I guarantee you that you're going to see that it's very, very hard to deal with this guy. This guy is the future of UFC. He's only 21. He won. He banked 50K, and we are going to see how nice it's going to be. Francisco Prado for the victory. What a great performance by Francisco Prado.